Welcome back to another episode of The Daniel Taylor Show. Is it a bad name? Yeah. Are we aware of it? We sure are. Do you have a better idea? We would love to hear it. So if you can think of it, please phone in, call in, text in, email in, Facebook message me. I'm all over the place. I will be sure to read them. Nate, before we get into our wonderful, beautiful, talented Renaissance woman of a guest, Do you have anything new and fun you'd like to add to the conversation?
No, not right now. I'm ready.
You're primed.
I want to hear from Bella.
Yeah, I can see this. Our guest today is the phenom of phenoms. I am constantly impressed by you, but I'm equally self-conscious when you're around. You're too good. And that's coming from a guy that had an inflated ego because everyone said it to me. I was you, but not nearly as good as you. And it's astounding. I think it's like we're seeing that evolution live of people. The younger they are as time goes, the better they are. It's crazy. With all that said, the marvelous Bella Ann.
I like the music.
There we go.
Oh, clapping.
Oh, thanks, everybody. Wow, there's 50 people in this room. Yeah, Bella, what is happening?
A lot of things, actually.
Is this your first podcast?
Yes, and I'm like kind of nervous.
No, you're doing good.
Okay.
I mean, not a high bar right now, but you're killing it.
That's good, because I was like, is the microphone too close to my face or not? Like,
it's good. Yeah, it looks good. Drop it a little bit, just for fun, just for the. There you go, and you can tilt it up if you need.
Okay.
If it will, it's kind of tight. There you go. All right, so the only thing I had planned was something I was thinking about this last night. I was like, what can I ask Bella? Because I know a lot about you, so I kind of have to play a little stupid here. Mm-hmm. But there is something I haven't asked you. There's a million things about you to be astounded by and curious about. The one thing that still strikes me that I can't wrap my head around, that even for me surpasses the music ability, is that you're 15 now and you're not on any form of social media.
No, I'm not.
I'm going to keep doing lame sound effects, so
I
just
love them.
buckle in. That's insanity. I mean, because all your friends are.
Yeah, that's true.
Everyone you know is.
Mm-hmm.
How do you stay off it? Why do you stay off it?
I think that it's more about like how you feel when you're like on it, when you're like actually like participating in all these things. Like I remember we had all these conversations like in studios with Dom, with you, and it was like, oh, we have to like get out there. You know, you have to put your stuff out there. People have to like know where to go if they want to find your music.
Right.
So, like a part of that conversation was social media and like, you know, Facebook, Instagram, stuff like that. And my mom is like the Facebook phenom.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So she like runs that whole situation. And when we first got onto social media, like I wanted to try running the Instagram.
Yeah.
So I downloaded Instagram and like
the fun began.
Yeah. So for like a full week, it was like this constant state of like, how many followers do I have?
Mm-hmm.
Like, who liked the video? How many likes are there? And it was just so like consuming. And then you look at what other people are doing and like all these other like people and their pictures, and like you feel so self-conscious. You're like, so I was like, this is not cool.
Yeah.
And it just like wasn't my thing. And I kind of like realized that, and I spent more time on my phone than I did like in the basement playing guitar.
And,
and it just kind of felt like a waste, and I didn't feel good about myself when I was doing it.
Yeah, I remember guys that I used to work with in different studios here and there that would always tell me like, or there was one guy in particular, toThe, and he would be like, dude, I see this all the time with creatives, and people in general. He was like, the way you do something is the way you do everything. Now it's a clever anecdote. It's not always true. But in your case, it's a nice Bella-ism of you're not really making music so that you get 10,000 views on Instagram, clearly, or you'd be on it.
Right.
You're doing it for other reasons. This was the only other thing that I planned, and wow, do I love a happy segue.
Another one.
An accidental good segue. Why do you make music? So I'm going to just give a quick thing from me. You know, there was all this like, you know, there was a lot of tension growing up for me. It was a good escape. Mm-hmm. I was, I don't know, a little wacky. So like music for me was always this like, you know, holy moment, so to speak. And so I wanted to be able to do that. I felt like it was like the only magic that existed. And I also did it for like egotistical reasons. I would feel accepted, or the girl I had a crush on would like me, you know?
I get that.
What drives you?
As a kid, like music had always been like in my household. Like
Yeah.
I just was like raised up with it around me. My dad.
Because
plays
mom
bass.
and dad play.
Yeah, both of them.
Yeah.
My dad plays bass, and my mom learned how to play ukulele and started singing. They like were in a band together. Like, it's just like it's always been around.
Wait, didn't her band, not to interrupt you, didn't they open for you recently?
Yes, they did.
At your first ticketed show.
Yes, they did.
Yes, queen. And it was great. Kelsey and I drove. I was
so
half
cool.
awake, and I did. Could you tell I was just like,
No.
yeah.
I mean, you're like up here all the time, so
Yeah.
even your like half like run down is still pretty excited.
That's so good.
Another one.
Yeah. I'm just gonna tally all the compliments, and when Nate gives them to me, I'm just gonna. Excuse me. I'm telling you, I'm obnoxious, but yeah. Anyway, it was so good. And we watched the documentary, and it's the cutest thing. We'll put all the links below to all the fun stuff, but
Nice.
you have to check out this documentary we're speaking of, because it's the cutest thing. And it's like, it's very hard to get a view if you're an outsider of like your grassroots thing you have going, and how like tight your circle is to help you.
Yeah.
And that video does a bang up job. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Bang up's good.
Okay.
It was really cool because, like, you know, you always know that, like, you have support. But
Yeah.
then for me, like, seeing everyone that showed up for that freaking, like, concert
Yeah.
was so, like, unreal. It was like, this is a community. Like, these people
Yeah.
care.
Yeah.
And I remember after the show, like, I would, like, come down the stage, and there were, like, people that would come up to me, and they would, like, tell me, like, how much certain songs resonated with them.
Yeah.
And, like, how much it meant to them. And, like, someone had, like, lost their son.
Ooh.
And it was, like, they were just telling me about it.
Yeah.
Like, this song, like, meant so much to me. And it was, like, really cool to, like, see how, like, these things that you make for your own reasons,
Yeah.
like, touch somebody else in
Yeah.
their own way. Like, music's something that you interpret, like, on your own.
I say that all the time. I don't play much because I'm in this dungeon all the time. I used to, I mean, like 300 shows a year, something crazy. But I don't know so much that I miss the act of it as much as I miss that, because it's a very specific thing. And there's not many things you can do in life that give you that type of like quick feedback and like you're watching the effect you have. It is magic. I still believe it.
Yeah.
But I got off topic. You know, you getting into music. So you had this. Was it this longing, this thing you couldn't eat, sleep, breathe without?
Well, when I was a kid, me and my brothers, like, I would drag my brothers into the living room, and we'd put on shows for my parents.
Right.
And I think it's always been something that I wanted to do, but I never had the tools to do.
Okay.
So when my mom learned how to play ukulele and she taught me, it was like, oh, now I have something. Like, I can take all these songs in my head and I can put them into something.
Okay, so ukulele was your first instrument.
Yeah.
And now you play, you're learning piano,
Yep. Like,
you're learning guitar.
yes.
You don't need to learn how to sing, because I love your voice. That's amazing. And you just turned 15. It's incredible. I just, you know, for me, it comes back to like trying to figure out the origin of what drives you for me, right? Because there's talent everywhere, not to discredit or discount yours, because, you know, I'm not. But there is, you know, if you look hard enough, you'll find it. It's funny, as a small anecdote, Nate, who is on some screen right now somewhere in this video, plays, and it's so funny because, you know, first thing you think is, wow, Meg said, you know, all of these instrumentalists and musicians out in the middle of nowhere, and it's like there's talent everywhere. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I wonder how many people you like cross in a day. That
Yeah, I actually, so this morning, like literally at 6 a.m. this morning, I
Yeah.
had to get up, and we went to like this photo shoot
Yeah.
and my mom's friend, she's like a photographer, and we did the, like, you know, album cover or whatever.
You want to shout her out?
Jen Mayabella Photography.
Janet Mayabella Photography.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I've seen the stuff. She's done all the stuff so far for you.
Yep.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, and she's great, and like everything, it's just so comfortable. And,
Yeah, yeah.
Like, it's like family friend, so
Yeah, yeah.
everyone's just
The dynamic's perfect.
right. So we went out to my mommy's house because she has all this open land, and
Yeah.
it's been snowing so much recently.
That field is so beautiful in pictures.
But like the next single, it's going to be coming out like by the end of this month.
Yeah.
It's called Frostbite.
Love it, by the way. My favorite song you do, I've told you.
Yeah, I love it because it's kind of like this. It's like a play on words, but it's like what's a little frostbite. That's
Yeah.
like one of the lyrics in it. But anyways, so we went out.
Sorry, continue.
We went out to my mama's house, and she had like all this open land, and it had been snowing, so it was just a beautiful scene. And I was freezing my. Can I swear on this?
As much as you want.
Yeah, I was freezing my ass off.
Yeah.
And I was in this like black dress, and my mama bought me like this cloak or whatever,
Ooh,
like to
I love a cloak.
like after we take pictures, I like rent to her, and she like wraps me in the cloak or whatever.
Oh, I love it.
And it was warm, so it did the job, but I was freezing.
I wish did you incorporate the cloak in any way? Laying on the
know
ground
what we're
behind
planning
you.
to for the music video.
Oh, for sure. Because plot twist, teaser, spoiler. Teaser. Wow. Frostbite is based off of the movie Frozen,
Yeah,
which
that's
has
a
like
reference.
what would you call it? Like there's a fantastic sense to it. It's kind of a fairy tale.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's really dope. This brings me to another point that I'm like always fascinated with you. There are songwriters that can write, tons of them. It's hard to find a songwriter unless they're really well seasoned, especially one that's 15, write with so much analogy. Like your sense for metaphor is so strong. Where does that come from? Like every song, not to interrupt you, but every song has like this brand. Like you played me a song when we were just hanging in here last time about Sasquatch.
Yeah.
And it sounds that when you say I wrote a song about Sasquatch, what I'm hearing is not what you sang me.
No.
You think like, how can you do that and not be corny or campy and campy?
Campy.
Surprised you didn't. Yeah, here we are. But no, it's good. It's really good. So everything you're playing me has this like central brand, and then your metaphors out from that are incredible. Where does that come from?
Like it's hard to say like where the root of it all is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like growing up, it's always been like looking at this situation and comparing it to this situation. I think that like also helps me get through certain things. It's
Sure.
Like, well, it like at least it's not like this, or you know, it could be this. And all these things. It's just like this constant comparison of like things that you go through, things that you see, things that you experience.
Right.
And like I always loved metaphors, and I always had like a knack for them, I guess. Like like I would write them down in my little poem book as a kid and stuff like that.
As a kid, she is a kid. It's so cool. It's crazy.
Well, like pre-teenage years.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
wise now.
I forget 3 years ago at your age is a big piece of the pie. That's a long time. But I hear you read nonstop.
I do.
That is certainly to blame for your metaphor. It's not, in a good way. How many books have you read?
I read 85 books last year. So
I can say with a good amount of confidence, I might not have ever read 85 books. I'm not even kidding. Not even a joke.
No, but my friend, she like got me hooked on reading because she was like the reader of our friend group.
Yeah.
Her name is Reese, and she's amazing, and I love her. But she would like read every day. Always had a new book.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
Like I was like, what is that? Like,
Yeah,
why
yeah.
are you reading?
You're like, I don't even want to read when we have to for school. Like, what are you doing?
But she was like, she like gave me this look, and she handed me this book. She's like, borrow it,
Ooh.
read it. So I read it, and it just like, I immediately like hopped on board, and then like starting in March of last year, I just went on this like rampage of like I put a dent in my parents' bank account for sure.
Oh, Kindle subscription.
Yeah, but I like half of my life was like spent in Barnes and Noble for the past year.
I love that. So it definitely informs your writing.
Oh, it definitely does. It's like you're literally reading this story from like you're in the perspective of someone else and their whole experience and story.
Right.
And you get all these like fairy tale ideas, and like it's a good source of empathy because it's like you can really resonate with this character.
Yeah. And it's kind of a forced perspective as long as you're actively reading it and putting yourself there. Yeah. But it's really good too because the way you write, I feel, is very visual. Like you create these sonic scapes,
Yeah.
that, they paint the picture. So like your words, they don't even have to be as good as they are, but they're good. It's like you just have a really strong sense of song and songwriting, and that craft takes a long time to learn.
So it sounds like you started writing for yourself. What made you want to start sharing that?
I think a lot of it was my mom, because like I would play her these songs and she's like, oh my God, my friend Jazz, like, you know, like my mom's friends, like they would love this. So then they'd come over and we'd have these like jam sessions in the basement and they'd listen to me play these songs. And they just like sit there in the basement crying, like tears streaming down their face. And they're like, this is exactly like what I needed this week, you know, something like that. I just hit the microphone.
You're good.
But like it was just like seeing the effect these songs had on people was like a shift in mindset for me. It was like people like need to hear these songs, and when I listen to music all the time. Like Spotify is like my number one thing.
Yeah.
But it's like where would I be without music? You know, where would I be without my like tens of millions of playlists? You know, like you need to hear that someone else is feeling the same way you are, or someone else has like this iota of understanding of what you're going through in that moment.
Yeah, yeah. And I see that with you, and I wonder sometimes, like, are you an exception to the rule, or are we seeing this like turning of the tide of people your age that are abandoning the shallow, you know, competition of likes, and, you know, seeing somebody's happy photo album, you're never going to put a bad picture in it. You know, so you're only seeing this hyper sensationalized version of their lives. Like we're all guilty of it. And it becomes this thing where it's like, you need that validation. And it becomes, I've seen, you know, peers of mine that have taken a ding to their craft, not even their output. Sometimes their output gets better, right? They're on social media, their views go up. Right. They sell more tickets, they sell more records, but their craft goes down because whatever it was that was compelling them to write started being about, will people like this? You know what I mean? Like somewhere along that line, they swapped art for commerce and it hurt them. Yeah. And it's really interesting. Like I still don't think, do you think you've got a satisfactory answer? Because I'm like, there's got to be more that's driving you. You're definitely not doing it. Like, I understand loving the effect because I do too, but there's something.
No, I think she answered it.
Yeah.
I also think she answered it right because she said that she was doing it. She wrote it for herself.
Right.
And I just heard somebody, I think Jerry Seinfeld said, you know, no, what was it? Somebody said that once you start writing, no, it was your guy that you were talking about. Once you start writing for the audience.
Rick Rubin.
Yeah, it goes down.
Phenom producer. You know Rick Rubin, right?
No.
Oh my God.
Sorry.
Rick Rubin should know you. This guy's this like, how would you even describe him? He's like this mystical dude with a long beard, balding head, but grows his hair out. Oh, yeah, but he's like worked with everybody. Like, you would never think the guy that could produce Johnny Cash could produce Jay-Z.
Oh my god.
Could produce metal bands. I think he's done Korn or Slipknot, something crazy, and everyone in between. He's just like, the guy is so right in his being that he produces, and that was a huge point of his, that you have to be so careful you're not swapping art for commerce. Because it happens all the time. This is why I love the dynamic of you and Mom, because she gets to take all the hard knocks and play momager. Yeah. And you just get to stay in the basement and write and do what you love.
And the thing is I think like another reason why I've never been like worried about like, oh, like who will like this? Yeah. Because everyone always likes it. Like growing up in like middle school, like is when I really came out of my shell, because COVID, like pre-middle school, like before.
COVID happened before you were in middle school?
Yeah, like I was like in 5th grade, and that's when COVID struck.
Oh my God, we're getting old. Time flies. Okay, continue.
But I really came out of my shell in middle school.
Really?
And,
yeah.
Like, because COVID was just so like confining. So when like I kind of like broke out of that like bubble, like I really like broke out of that bubble. You know what I mean?
And that can happen too. Like, especially like I raised my little sister through that age, and you see it with it, not necessarily with her, but with her friends. You saw it like it would either destroy you, and you'd have to rebuild through the high school years, which is so challenging in and of itself. Yep. Or like you said, it would, you know, you would blossom, you would bloom, you would become what you were scared to be in grade school, which is so crazy to say. We're talking about children, you know? Yeah. You guys should have no expectation. You should just be able to be, and, you know.
But like going into middle school, like, and people started, because I think throughout elementary and all these things, like, it's always been like, oh, Bella's the girl that sings, you know? Like, I was in chorus for like 2 years.
Right.
And then and I started writing music, and I started playing. My mom started posting videos on Facebook, and then my friends, they would come up to me and they're like, "This is good.
Yeah.
Like, you have a fantastic voice."
Yeah.
And to hear it and like have that support in your back pocket was like such a huge thing.
Yeah, you're hitting it at all levels.
And then last year, 8th grade, end of 8th grade, it was like our graduation year, and I sang for the entire school, 7th and 8th grade, and I wasn't scared at all.
That's so crazy.
Because I knew that every person in that audience was like cheering me on. There was no one that was gonna like make fun of it. And I think that's something that makes my school experience so special and rare, because you hear about like people like Taylor Swift and stuff who didn't really have like good high school experiences.
Didn't really have that support group.
No, and it's like I am lucky. Like I'm privileged and grateful and all these things. But I had played for the entire school and I had a cold, so like my voice cracked a couple times.
Yeah.
You know, you get in your own head.
Oh yeah.
But at the very end, everyone, the entire, like, they came running off the bleachers, sat up out of their chairs, and I was involved.
Like a movie.
The biggest group hug. And it's like, if one day I am like rich and famous beyond belief, like they have to like make a movie about my life, I want that moment.
No, you just play on a big enough stage in front of a big enough amount of people that you make like a 20,000 person group hug.
Yeah, it was literally, I was being hugged by the entire school, and I ended up, everyone was crying. Like, it was so emotional because we were graduating from middle school also. So, but I had ended up being tackled. Like, I was on the ground. Like,
is that borderline dangerous?
I know. And then like the teachers had to like break up the hug. Like, it was such a cool moment.
That is a fun headline.
So what song did you sing?
Ooh.
I did a cover. So I did Riptide by Vance Joy, because that was like my go-to.
Perfect for you too.
It's the only one I could
Did you play it on ukulele?
Guitar.
What?
It was the only thing I could play on guitar at the time.
I love this. I marked when you were talking about this, because I was like, this is a really good thing for kids to see, and it's a really good it's a good example of why you shouldn't be on social media or wildly limit your access to it, because I have a really strong feeling that if you were on it, and even if your experience was pretty close to what it is in real life, that would not be quite so pure.
No,
because you're subjected to so much nonsense, and it's like, it's not usually, I'm not discrediting. Some people have a really hard time in middle school.
I know what you mean.
And they don't have that experience. And I'm not discrediting that, but those kids are not going to be that mean face to face. They're never going to be as mean as they are on a screen when they can hide behind it.
Yeah.
So I think it's really good. I think you're in this, like you said, you feel privileged, and it's nice that you're cognizant of that. But I think it's really good for you and your art at large, because it's like you get to kind of live in this bubble where you're not like hiding from it, but you're kind of safe from it.
Yes.
I mean, you're aware it exists.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, I think that's fantastic.
And like my mom, she runs all of my social media.
Yeah.
And she does a great job. She's over here.
Yes. Mama.
Yeah, but it's like, you know that not everyone's going to like it. Not everyone's going to like you.
And you can't expect it.
No.
Because you're just going to be let down, yeah.
But something that like I'll always remember that my mom had told me is that not everyone's going to like you, but not everybody matters.
Yes, 100%. Or no, they don't, right.
Right, like I think that really like was like a good check for me. It was like, yeah, like you don't have to feel like you need to win this person's approval.
No.
Like if they like what you're doing and if it matters to them,
right, then
you did something good for this person.
Yeah.
And if they don't, then they can stop watching the videos. They can stop listening to the music.
And
That's their problem.
This is exactly what we were saying about Rick. His point was that. It was that the only way Bella can be the best Bella is if Bella makes something for Bella. Because it's going to be the purest form of whatever it is that you're capable of. The second you start entertaining trying to win the naysayers or win the people that don't support you, you're discrediting your art. It is going to suffer because you're trying to change it. It's not so much commerce that way in terms of money, but you're trying to get people you don't have. You don't have to worry about that. What you have is so special and so unique that you should just sing that as pure as you can from every rooftop you can get on. And I wouldn't recommend doing it right now.
I can't believe a 14-year-old just said that, like, gave us those words of wisdom. And
I know.
It took me, I mean, I don't know if I know them yet.
Yeah, like it took me until 2 years from now old to do it. It's crazy.
Another one.
I had to push it, dude. I can't. The shiny
I
buttons.
love them. Wait, what do they all do?
Okay, so we got DJ Khaled.
Another one.
That should be Nate.
That
Give
should
it.
be me. Another one.
That's pretty good.
That was pretty good.
Oh.
That's for later because we got to
Para-
ask. Yeah,
paranormies,
yeah,
yeah.
that's later.
Mm.
That's when Nate says a bad word.
That's when Daniel
Oh.
talks. Yeah.
That's
Oh,
when we
reverse?
mess up. We got to rewind it.
Oh yeah.
Did you say Daniel Tosh?
What? No.
Oh. That's for when Nate talks because I love him and I'm supportive of him.
Aw.
I love insulting with a compliment. No, I love this. And I think it's really interesting because a lot of my close circle, and I have honed out an incredible close circle as well. And I don't think I would have ever confidently said that in the past.
That's cool.
I viciously promote your stuff too because I trust them and I trust their ears. I trust their mindsets. I also know they're capable of pulling themselves outside of themselves so that they're not like, here I am, here's my opinion, right?
Right.
But here's what I would think if I wasn't, just telling you what I like. They're able to listen with an open mind. It's huge with music. And I've said this to you a million times where it's like, you and I, if I'm mixing a record for you, obviously it's my job to know that everything is technically correct.
Mm-hmm.
But I am not the arbiter of if a song is going to work for the general public. I'm not your audience. Even if I wasn't an engineer, I'm still not probably your audience.
Right, yeah.
Mid-30s male. I mean, I love your stuff.
I know
but
what you mean,
I would
yeah.
not pitch. I would not waste
Yeah.
money promoting to me, right? So, like, you have to be aware of that when you're devising these plans. I know you and Mom are working on a strategy for multiple EPs right now, or an LP and an EP,
LP. And yeah.
or two LPs and an EP.
I mean, like, it's very, like,
It's up in the air.
it's very up in the air.
Okay, an LP to be released as of now in the spring.
And then Frostbite in January and Hey Bailey on Valentine's Day.
So we've
I'm
got
excited
two
for
singles coming out. One that's very fitting for the winter, and one very fitting for Valentine's Day. So we got a January and a February release. Oh yeah, and we definitely have to segue to this at some point. If you are, well, who isn't? Because you can find this anywhere you can find music. But you have to check out Envy the Birds. It was mastered here. I can't remember the guy that mixed it. Nate.
He's in Nashville. I don't
Yeah,
know.
Nate.
That's all I know about.
She'll find the name and I'll shout him out because it's really well mixed and produced in tandem with you and Dom Kalitsi.
Yes.
And it's so good. And I say this to you so much that creativity is such a hard thing to force. And you're so lucky when you're riding that wave, right?
Totally.
I found like life, it's something you can't fight. You have to kind of learn to dance with it, you know?
It's like the ocean, you know?
Yeah, it
like,
is. It
It's like
is.
waves of like, I'm on a roll, and then you hit a hard spot. And
Yeah. And so like music, we used to do media. So photo, video design, you name it.
Yep.
And I found that when I could work the most pure was like not having anything preconceived. And I wonder if this translates to music for you. So like if a client sent me this thing they wanted product photography done for, or like a branding package done for, it was up to me to figure out what the strengths and the weaknesses of this thing was, right? And sometimes if I had preconceived notions, I would fight it, right? And instead of just like, what is this lending itself to naturally, and then going with it, you know? So do you find that in music? Do you ever have an idea where you're so stuck on, like you're stubborn to the idea, that the song suffers for it? Or do you have like tools to navigate that?
I mean, it's kind of like a personal diary. That's what
Okay.
songwriting has always been for me.
So are you comfortable with just like, if something's not working, abandon it?
Yeah, it leaves a bad taste in your mouth for sure.
Yeah.
But like my Google Docs are like filled with like half-assed ideas that
Yeah.
make no sense, like little like sentences of songs that I will never circle back to.
Right.
Like it's stuff like that. But then there's like things that it's like, oh, I'll keep that around because maybe when I'm like in a better headspace, I
Yeah.
can circle back around to that and it will
And
turn
then
into something.
there must be songs that also just like literally flow out.
Yeah, then there's songs that are just like Envy the Birds was like that.
Just start to finish.
Yep, like we were on our way to Rhode Island. We were like on the way to my brother's hockey tournament.
Love it.
I was in the car. It was like the longest car ride ever.
Yeah, that's a haul.
But I mean, I'm being kind of dramatic, but to me at the time, I was like, I'm going to be in this car forever.
Was she like, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet?
I listen to music.
See?
Yeah.
I should have known. She listens to music. Dude, they're such like mutants now. Kids her age that she's probably listening to music, reading a book. and like
Right
solving
now.
a Rubik's
Yes.
cube. Yeah, right now.
Right now.
Not in the car on the way to Rhode Island.
I literally brought my book. It's on your freaking counter.
Yeah,
in the
I
kitchen.
believe you. I believe you. Yeah, so that I just wonder, like, the process for you, because it just, I'm going to continue. I don't think I'm going to get an answer that I'm going to be satisfied with. I almost just threw up. Wait, let's rewind.
That would be very unfortunate.
Why am I, dude? I haven't done this in so long. I don't think I'm going to get an answer I'm satisfied with, because I don't think there is one.
No, I really.
My friend asked me last night if I could ask one question and have it be answered, what would it be? And I was like, what is the meaning of life? And he goes, what if there isn't one? And I was like, then I would know. And I think that's you. I don't think there's an answer, because there's like a conundrum there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's, basically what I'm saying is, do you think there's a part of what compels you to write and what makes you write so well that maybe even you don't understand? Do you think there's a chance of that?
Okay, yeah. So actually, I do have like this kind of weird thing. I like it. It sounds creepy, but it's like, but it feels like you know when you remember a song, like you're just like randomly like earlier I was singing like "Let Her Cry" by Hoodie and the Blowfish.
Yeah.
Like I was just like "Let her cry."
Can't believe you know that. Yep.
But like you just like you remember a song and then you start singing it. That's the way songwriting has always been. It's like someone else is just singing through me. It's like
Oh my God. We just naturally hit
Oh
it.
my God, we went to the paranormal.
Dude, we went there. Paranormies. Steve, you got to make an appearance. He's gone. But
it just like it happens. It's there. It's something that already exists that you're just
like you're
like,
channeling it.
channeling it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like it's just
Tapping into.
yeah, totally. And
Michelangelo said the same thing. Yeah.
seriously, wow.
No, it was Donatello. He was tapping chisel. Get it? No.
Oh wow.
Sculptor.
No, that was Michelangelo.
Yeah, him too. That's right.
Literally said it.
You know what?
He said I just
Another one.
Yeah, he said
Give me another one. Renaissance man. Go.
Yeah, he said I don't
No, go.
Go what?
No-
Another one.
Another Renaissance man.
Oh. Da Vinci.
Another one.
Raphael.
Another one.
What? I don't know how you're doing this.
Donatello. You said it already.
Oh, he's good, dude. You know what? You're good.
That's the Ninja Turtles, baby.
You know what? I hate it here. You're doing too much. We gotta put that in.
doing too
We gotta put that
much.
in. So I'm gonna just pull off here and go somewhere crazy. No, you know what? I'm gonna wait. But I am gonna say another reminder, because this should be a promotional
Another
stop for you. Yeah, come on.
Another one.
This should be a promotional stop for you in some capacity. You absolutely have to go stream Envy the Birds, and if you're a real one, buy it. Come on. This is the thing for me. It's like we have all these talented people trying to do their art in a generation that really doesn't value art. It's like, talking with mom about business stuff. It's so hard for me because I like to come, even if I'm not like your friend first, it's hard for me not to think like that. So I'm always telling you that it's like, you got to be so careful how much you're willing to put in, because the chance of a return is so low right now. And there's becoming fewer and fewer like ways to make revenue from music. And it's really sad. But what's funny is it kind of starts with us. Like I stopped streaming. If I like a song, or if I need to reference a mix or a master for you, or we're producing something and I'm like, oh, I hear some Lumineers in you and some Ingrid Michaelson, I'll just buy their 2 records. It's like corny to be the change, but it kind of is. It's hard for me as a professional to bitch about music not making money and just stream it on Spotify when artists don't make anything from it, you know?
Yeah.
So what I guess I would, and maybe this is out of scope, maybe you shouldn't even worry about this, but what part of you worries about that aspect of the business? Like, you're young, but does that come across your mind ever? Like, am I getting into this thing that may be dead by the time I'm doing well in it, or should have been doing well?
I mean, like, yeah, like I think about, like, what if it's like not enough, you know? What if it's like this constant like state of going in circles, like, oh, we'll get it out there, we'll do this, we'll do that, we'll do, like, eventually, and then eventually never comes, and it's just like sitting flat. And it's like I have all of these songs, I have all of these things that I like want people to hear, that I want to get out there. Like I want to play on big stages. I want to like have people that like want to be there and listen to me, and that might sound conceited, but it's like, you know what I mean?
It's definitely not, especially from a business sense, because that is like the number one way now to make money is performing.
And like I love it. Like I was talking with my mom, and like over the summer I like was hired for like different gigs, weddings, like restaurants, bars, stuff like that. And I would just play, and it's like, here's $500, you know? And
I forget she's so young. I was talking about like ticketed shows, and she's like, $500, man, that is a ton of money for a show.
Yeah,
It's
seriously.
Like, well, when you're 14, it is
like,
a ton of money.
I hear my friends talking about like these like babysitting horror stories, and it's like I was talking to my mom, and she was like, "Oh yeah, I have a friend. You know, she has a 6-month-old. She wants you to babysit." And I was like, I was kind of freaking out, and then she was like, "Wait, you don't have to.
Just
like,
play,
you make plenty of money just playing music. You know, like it's."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah, like people." Like, you know, I feel like I would, if I was someone else, I'd be working at a Dairy Queen, you know, but my teenage years have been spent like playing guitar at different
And it
bars.
should be. And it's like, I consult with a few other younger artists, and that was a big point of contention within their families, was like, she should earn her way. She should understand what it's like to work at a Dairy Queen or whatever. And that is sometimes true, depending on the person.
Yeah, I agree.
But they had such a good sense of themselves, and like they were responsible to begin with. So my point was always like, play. I mean, obviously you're gonna learn the ropes more. I mean, I don't think you should be focusing, obviously, and you know this, on bars. I mean, you're way better than that, right?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But you have to start. You have to learn how to corral a crowd. You have to know crowd work like a comedian. I mean, it does matter in music. And there's an argument to be made of like being careful about how much, not wanting to like hurt your instrument,
right?
Because you do have a really passionate voice, is a good way to put it. I didn't have a lot of good vocal technique growing up, and my voice got damaged from it. So you do have to be very careful.
Yeah, sometimes I get worried because, like, you know, you get like caught up in the moment and you're singing and you like do like a voice growl or something, and I'm like, I'm like literally wrecking my throat right now.
Yeah, and there's, you know, maybe not. It's like, but everyone, you know, physiology changes, maybe.
Yeah,
but maybe it doesn't affect you. But it's like there are ways to do that safely that, like, you know, you're buying insurance kind of for your thing, because you don't want to lose it. Imagine. But, you know, you do sing with so much power. Like, I'm mixing you, right? And as a professional, I love the power. But even Kelsey, I was mixing something. She's like, I wonder if she does vocal lessons just to know how to warm up to that and to cool down from it. Kelsey. She's like the least musical person I know. But she's like,
pretty cool.
she's very, you know, she's mommy. So she's always like.
I love Kelsey. She's awesome.
But that was a good point. And I'd never even brought it up to you. Have you done any formal training to protect yourself?
Once upon a time, I
went.
Snow Pond Arts Academy.
Love Snow Pond.
I was in like the back room of like the wherever it was, and it was like this.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went to an after school program there, and
they probably taught you the basic da 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 da.
Yeah, but like they never worked on like vocals. But I remember there was this one lady there that like would sing, and like my mom like got me into voice lessons, and I did it once, and I was in my head voice the whole time, and and I was like, I hate this. Like,
they were having you falsetto everything.
I want to sing.
Yeah,
like I don't. CD, you know what I mean?
Yeah. See, I had this point earlier. I was trying to convince Steve to learn guitar. You imagine? I mean, the coolest looking thing I've ever seen. It's like the meme with Hulk Hogan. He's like, anyway, brother, here's Wonderwall. But I was telling him, I'm like, everyone trains the wrong thing. You have these kids that want to come in and play Post Malone or Morgan Wallen, and they're teaching you hot cross buns. It's like, bro, you're not learning how to play the recorder. You're playing a guitar. I went to a vocal coach in Connecticut, and because I was always screaming, everyone loved my rock scream. It was like my selling point. And my manager at the time was like, you are going to ruin your voice. It's great now for the money, but you're not going to be able to sing in 10 years. Yeah. And this guy had me singing opera all the time, right? And I get... It doesn't matter what genre. Certain warm-ups are going to warm you up.
Right.
But I was like, I need a vocal coach that understands that I also have to step into that power role. How do I do that safely? And it was just so beyond the scope of what he did. So also, all that is to say, find someone that you vibe with really well, that understands what your goal is and helps your voice that way. But that would literally be my number one tip for you, is protect your voice.
I just don't know like how. Like it's like I sing and I sing. Like that's just.
Well, so you're young, but have you ever or do you experience vocal fatigue yet?
Not necessarily. I mean, like if I'm singing for 2 hours, my voice is like dead.
Will you lose
but I'll
range?
Be fine. I mean, like voice cracks are more prominent.
Okay.
Like,
And
the
like,
more that I sing.
do you find it harder, one telling way to see if they're too tight because they're little muscles? I mean, they're tiny. Do you find it hard to like cut into a falsetto clean when your voice is more tired?
Sometimes I find it easier. Like during that concert, like I was sick as a dog. Like
at your show?
I had a cold for weeks.
I didn't know that.
I was congested. We had 3. Yeah, we boiled water in the back kitchen, and I had like literally mugs full of like tea that were like, we doused it with honey.
What?
And we had tissues up on stage and
You would
water
never
bottles.
know. I swear, I didn't know.
Yeah, but I was literally so sick, and I kept like taking sips of like my tea, my raspberry tea during like in between sets.
Yeah, you handled it like a pro.
Yeah, but even then it was like, yes, my voice hurts, my throat hurts, but I'm still able to sing.
Yeah, you pull through.
Yeah.
I love it. What part of the business for you, right? Because you've seen a small amount of it so far, but a good amount for your age. All I can keep doing is pulling back to me because that's the only anecdote I really know well. And it's like, I had so much anxieties. I had so much fear going into it. I didn't have the support group you have, which is so amazing. What do you struggle with? Like what part of, do you find that music at large helps your mental health? Or do you find that the stress of the job of it, like you just said, you got up at 6 o'clock in the morning, did a freezing cold photo shoot. Yep. You're coming out to do a podcast, which you've never done one.
No.
So you don't even know what you're getting into.
This was terrifying.
Yeah, you're doing your makeup with Kelsey's up in the bathroom. And it's like, and then who knows? We might play a song on record. It's like,
that'd be cool,
you seem completely unfazed by it.
I mean, like, I was internally screaming, like, when we all sat down. I was like, oh my God, there's so many people here. There's a camera right there, But then it's like, I'm just talking, and I talk a lot, so it's fine.
Yeah. So you could handle this.
Yeah.
Even scaling this up
and then
to big levels.
You think of it, you put it in perspective, and it's like, some people have really shitty lives. Some people are going through deep stuff that, like, I can't even begin to fathom. Like, me and my mom, on the way here, we had just gotten Starbucks, and we were sitting at the stoplight, and there was a homeless man next to us holding up a sign, like, anything helps. And my mom was like, look at us, just sitting here sipping our Starbucks.
Our $10 drinks,
Like, we didn't have any cash in the car,
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things, and it's like, yeah, like, and then you think about, like, oh, you spill your drink in the car, but it's like, some people don't have a drink to spill. Some
or
people
a car
don't
to
have
spill it
a
in.
Car, right.
Right.
Like, it's that kind of thing. So it's like, I get here, and it's like, yeah, I'm nervous, but it's like I have the opportunity to be here.
Yeah.
I have the privilege to go at 6 in the morning and have a meme that makes like pastries and like buys me a freaking cloak to keep me warm
and
while
a
I'm
friend of mom to help
like
continue this dream.
Exactly.
And see, that's like, I don't mean to interrupt, but it's so rare that like I can tell you confidently, and I pride myself on my, what's the word I keep using incorrectly? Altruism?
Place-ate?
To the benefit of others. You know what, dude? It's been so good having you. That joke goes so much further, and we're just not doing it. But I've always had a really keen awareness of myself, right? Like you said, privilege and where I was and stuff, but I definitely didn't to a proper extent till like pretty recently. And now I feel it like overwhelming, right? You just turned 15. And you feel bad enough that you don't have $1 in the car to give this guy, but you're aware enough to be like, wow, I am lucky.
Yeah.
What do you think of that? Is that rare or?
Yeah, I mean, I swear we're like the same age emotionally.
You and her?
Yeah.
This is crazy.
She's like going by me already, yeah.
Yeah, because Nate goes by, and what do you say? Ew?
No, I have the same thought, but I'm 43, so it's
I love this. Nate's like, Bella's my spirit animal.
Yeah.
It's just so everybody knows.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, but that's the thing. If you don't have money to give or something to give, I think you're paying, right? Not a social debt, but to be aware of it is redeeming, of course. Yeah. I mean, that's I
think now I'm just going to start dumping my coffee in the car.
When you see a homeless
when I don't have something to give them, I'll just be like, oh, man.
Oh, my God, that's so funny. Every time you go by, that's a great skit. If you don't have something, like, God, right over your head. Oh, good God.
We both don't have one.
Yeah, man.
Another one.
Now we both don't have one. I was so busy I didn't hear it till after. That was great.
But yeah, like Like we have sandwiches in the car right now because we had gone to Starbucks. My mom's like, I do not want to be hungry at his house.
I know, you poor people. Well, poor Meg. No, I'm giving you a pass on this because me and you could lock ourselves in this room for days.
Yeah,
and like I love it.
Yeah, like
Poor mom. And I know you love music. Yeah, and that's the other thing. Poor Kelsey doesn't know you guys are coming because she's always at the mercy of whatever my crazy mind thinks up. And she's cooking. So these guys are salivating, smelling this gorgeous beef stew.
I know. And she was like, oh, it's going to take like 20 more minutes.
And you're like, bro.
I was like, I'm getting out of here. Like,
Yeah.
I'm hungry. And we went to like this Chinese place and we like scarfed down a bunch of
Oh, how was that?
It was good, but they gave us like a pint of duck sauce.
They give you so much.
I was like, what am I supposed to do with all of this?
You
Like,
drink
chug
it.
it?
Is this the one downtown?
Like you flip it over your...
Yeah.
We won't name them, but I told them, I'm like, not really. No, not downtown. It's in another town. But I was like, not really good food, but I grew up with it, so I love it. But it's...
I mean, at that point, I was just like, gonna eat whatever.
Yeah, like it was the best Chinese food I've ever eaten at that
Exactly.
point. I was so hungry.
Yeah. In the moment, I was like, this is amazing. And then afterwards, I was like, that was not good.
I love this. Nate, do you have anything that's come to mind since the beginning?
I've been asking questions. Yeah, I think it's funny that you're hung up on the fact that she didn't answer your question.
I think that's a symptom of my brain and not your inability to answer it.
I was satisfied with your answer.
Yeah.
I get it. Like, you're just writing for writing's sake, and like it helps you.
Because I could grill her for 5 hours on it because I'm so like my mind can't stop.
You need that. Like,
I want the answer for me.
You need the grain in the middle of the in the pearl. Yeah,
that is the dynamic of me and Nate. It's amazing. Which you have to come back and do our show. We're in the middle of rebranding it, but it's really fun. It's so much fun. It's a lot less like. I mean, this show's supposed to be fun too, but I'm rusty. We haven't done this in a while, so
Seriously?
it's I actually love that it's you. It's so much fun.
Like I came on, I was like I keep hitting this freaking microphone with my arm,
you're more
and I'm
than
like
good.
trying to drink my drink, and it's like I'm like bringing it around the microphone. And I'm like,
we were just talking about we need new tables.
We do, and we've always needed. We should get a couch. It's so much more like
Yeah,
I don't like the separation.
Seat.
Yeah, right,
Yeah.
right.
I don't know. I feel like I get to stare into your eyes, like you know what I mean. Like,
is that the first time you've ever heard that?
Yeah, that's the first time anybody said they want to look in my eyes. Yeah.
Nate's like, I am worthy. Mom, did we miss anything that you think that because it's rare that you get a chance? I mean, there's a lot of podcasts these days.
The question. What did we miss?
Yeah, because nowadays though there is a ton, but not where we are, and it's like. You don't really get long format. Like, even if you get to say what you want in the news, they're going to edit that cut however they want that to go. Yeah. Is there something you think should be said? Is there something you want people to know about Bella?
I mean, I say all the time that she's magic.
We should get her a mic.
She can have mine, I think.
Yeah.
Or you can stay here, right?
Yeah, she can swap out for a sec. Because I think, you know so much. Meg is so, obviously intertwined. It's your daughter, but... I know. As they trip and knock.
Squeezing past. With the drink. Oh, my Lord.
Oh, my God.
No, you guys are, like, nailing it.
This is
like, graceful.
actually, we should have gave them, like, a
graceful swap.
I wish I had, like, a anxious song for them, like, till they got it.
Bum,
Ding,
bum,
ding,
bum.
ding, 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 ding. Oh. Welcome, Meg Lubier, Mama Bear, Momager.
Say hi. Hi.
So what do we miss, Mom? We're going to continue to gloat about how awesome she is, because we all believe it.
Well, I say all the time that she's magic.
She is. She is.
Oh, and
personified.
I cry. Usually I say that and then I cry.
Don't cry. You make me cry.
I know.
I know. We always said we're like related somehow, you and me.
Yeah,
we have
like
to figure it out.
soul sisters.
That's what
Soul
I say
sisters?
to Bella. I say he's my soul sister.
I am.
Yeah.
They're both redheads.
Yeah.
They're both like very enthusiastic about everything.
Oh,
And
yeah.
we both don't stop talking.
That's not incorrect.
Yes.
So what do we miss?
Well, listening to you guys talk about why she writes.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm like, I know.
Yeah.
Or at least I think I do as her mom watching her. She processes her feelings through song, it's really poetry. She starts everything with poems. When I read through, I always say, oh, send me your lyrics. Because I can't always catch everything she's saying. So I want to read it.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is poetry that you're writing. And it's a way of processing what she's feeling, whether it's, a friend that's going through a hard time that's, and then she'll tell me and it's like, oh, this is heavy. And then she goes and writes a song about it. Or I mean, I read, but
Yeah.
I don't read the way that she reads.
Yeah.
And I don't have to because she gives me a play-by-play of her books.
Yeah,
I literally,
yeah.
it's like a full scale. Like you might as well be watching a movie.
And
Like
what do I say every time? I'm like, they should make a movie out of that.
yeah, every time.
So
every
you're
time.
giving, she's giving her like the arc of the story and the plot points, act 1, 2, 3, and makes like, they really should write a book about this. Not knowing that it's a bit, she's explaining about, this
And
is
I'm like,
awesome.
I don't have to read that book
This
now.
is the answer I wanted though.
But
Because
then
this
she
explains
writes a
your,
song about it.
yes, this is what I'm
About the
saying
book.
though.
It's hard. That's why, like, because I like me and my mom always talk about like I feel like we're like soulmates. You know, like even like no matter what life we live, like we would be together. We'd be in love.
Oh, right.
Somehow,
So this
you know?
one is mom, daughter.
right. Like
Right.
either like in then like another life we'd be twin sisters. I'd be the mother. Like we'd
Right.
be lovers or something.
Right.
You know,
We always
like
find each other.
like
yeah.
every single time, and it's like I you know me better than I know myself sometimes. So like
I think that's the
Where
least
I-
creepiest way someone could say that they're in love with their mother.
yeah.
You get an applause for that. No, I kid. No, but I believe that. I see you guys' interaction, and it's always that. You're always bigging up each other, and it's
Yes.
really cool. Like genuinely.
So, yeah, like when you asked me the question, it was weird to not have my mom jump in and help me answer it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because while I can like think from my point, like perspective, she has that like same like level of knowing what the answer is.
But
you
she
know?
gets
But
the
she-
privilege of being objective too.
Yes,
So she
yeah.
can kind of find an angle that maybe you're not thinking of, just like with your answer. Because like that does help me. That's kind of what I'm looking at. Is it's like, I know you can write a song too, but there's no fucking way we're writing it the same way. You know what I mean? That we're using the same devices, that we're thinking the same ways to get to the
Yeah,
end.
actually,
you
when I
know?
was a kid, whenever I like played out at like different places, we'd play this game with the audience, and it was like pick a word, like give me a word, give me a prompt, and
love
I'll write a
this.
song out of it.
I love this.
On the
So
spot.
on the spot, and I remember
What?
once
And that's before you played guitar.
When I was a
had
kid.
ukulele.
How old?
Like 10, 11.
That's ridiculous.
Oh, people would be like,
Yeah, but there was
Mind's
like I
blown.
remember once.
And they were decent songs.
Yeah, they were
oh,
decent songs.
beyond decent.
But like my mom
Poetic.
would record them, and then I would listen to them back, and I'd be like, "Oh, that's actually a good one," and then I would write it down, and then like there's a song. But like once we were playing at this bar, and my parents were playing, their band was playing, and then they were like, "Bella, come on up," you know. So I had my ukulele, and I was up on stage, and I played a couple songs, and I was like anyone in the audience pick a word, and then I think someone picked like a moonlight or whatever, and it was a good one, and I just like you just write a song, and like it flows, and it's just like you just have to have like this prompt in your like this idea in your head, and you visualize it, and then you take that, you put it into words, and then you put it into a song. It's that kind of thing.
I think the way in which that you're not super harsh on yourself, which you shouldn't be, you know, helps your writing. Because a lot of people talk about me specifically. I've been so busy working on other people's stuff that when I go back to mine, I am so blocked up. Like, because I can't get out of my own way of like, that's bad, that doesn't work, that's not tight enough. But she just does. It's not even a thought.
I mean, when I say I'm a musician, I feel like that's silly. Like I'm like,
I've heard you play. You're a musician.
Yeah,
I mean,
you're a
I'm
musician.
okay, but I can play covers. And I think to myself, if I were to write a song,
Yeah.
I would start with a poem. I would overthink the poem.
Of course. Right.
I would go back and I'd overthink. Oh, that's overthought. And then I would try to write a chord progression. And I would overthink. I would just overthink. And Bella does not overthink. She feels and she allows.
Yeah. See how
And-
much prettier when she said the same thing that was?
Yeah.
Well, the other thing.
No.
Oh, that hurt my soul.
Oh, hurt mine.
I used to think that Bella was channeling something because she was 9 years old.
I had to redeem the bad one.
She wrote her first song at 9, and what was it called?
Oh my gosh, it was like when your heart
Because
starts
you're
breaking
mine.
and you splits into I know I can run to you 'cause you're mine, make me feel just fine.
9 years
Oh,
old.
I already like it.
When my heart starts breaking and it splits in two, I know I can run to you.
Wait a
'cause
minute.
you're
Wait a minute.
mine.
What grade are you in when you're 9?
No.
Fourth?
No, wait, how old is Gabe?
Gabe is
My little
Ruby's
10
9?
and he's in fourth.
In
He
fifth
was like
grade?
third. No, she was like third.
I wrote my first song in 5th grade, and guess what? Wasn't that good. I can already
Here's
tell.
the thing. I used to think that she was channeling something, but now
I'll stop.
I'm going to just keep saying that. But I believe that she is just so in tune with herself
Yeah.
that I don't know if it's coming from somewhere else, but just, I believe you're an old soul, new sound.
Hey.
Thank you, Daniel
You're welcome.
Taylor. That she just trusts herself
Yeah.
more than most of us ever will.
Yeah. I don't know if we drilled this in enough. Never get on social media.
Yeah, I think it's like,
Dude, you
It
getting on
tears you
social
down,
media
man.
is a Disney movie. It would destroy your self-worth. Like you're so pure with it that it's so pure it seems like she's channeling someone. And then she gets on social media because of the social pressure of it, and then it ruins your self-worth and you got to refine it. Don't do that.
I think the other
Don't
word
do the
for
Disney
Don't go
movie.
through that,
No,
yeah.
just
her awareness.
yeah.
So she trusts herself, right? She allows. She doesn't overthink. But she's also aware.
Yeah.
And not just aware of all of us in the room, of everything around her, of what you're feeling like on an empath level. But she has an awareness of herself. And you know when it's like, oh, this isn't good for me.
yeah, like I had Snapchat for like
2 weeks.
2 weeks, 2.5 weeks.
Snip, snap.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and the thing is my little brother Michael, he was like, "You need a love life. You need to find a boyfriend." So
Your
he was
little brother.
my
13.
little brother, and he was like, "I'm gonna hook you up. We're gonna download Snapchat." So it's
Oh,
like,
God.
we go like weekends, like, and we're like at these hockey tournaments. So we're like sitting in this hotel room, and we're both on the bed, and Michael's like next to me, and he like takes my phone, he sets up my freaking Snapchat account and like my Bitmoji. And he starts adding people that I don't know.
By the
And
way, Snapchat is the worst one you could be on for like
Urgency.
also
It's
agree.
urgency.
that's
in
so
that.
crazy. He's
So-
like, "Hey, you got to get on something. We're downloading Bumble." You're like, "I am 14 and I'm pretty sure that's illegal." Like
No, but literally,
Snapchat.
so Michael,
bad.
like we were talking and like, ugh. So like I don't even know how to put it to words, but it's so like demanding,
Yeah.
like immediate, like if you leave
Urgency.
someone unopened, then you're like ignoring them and you're being rude. And if you don't open them and if you don't look at their snap and if you don't send one back, then it's this and this. There's like so many rules.
Oh, of course.
And so many like there's like snap etiquette.
I
you
couldn't believe
know?
it when she was telling me. I was like,
And-
Michael needs to get that off his phone.
Do you want to know what's even crazier
immediately.
than not getting it is that they don't even have to think about it.
No,
Like the
and
people
it's-
that do this, like my sister's like addicted now, my older sister, and it's like she says all this same stuff and they learn it like that, and I'm like, I don't have enough free room
No.
to care
No, but
about
it was
that.
like,
I
3 days in, and I was like, "Oh, this isn't that bad," and I like adjusted, and I was like, like, because at first it was overwhelming. It was like, "Oh my god!" Like, I'm talking to like 25 people that I literally don't know very well. Like, it's like these surface level friendships that you feel like you have to maintain to like have a streak, a snap streak,
and it's
or
so
whatever.
phony. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like,
Oh my
these
God, I just had
people,
an idea for-
Like, if these people wanted to talk to me, they would, like, if I were to text them and I was like, "Hey, I'm getting rid of Snapchat. Like, can I have your number?" They wouldn't text me.
Right.
No, they wouldn't text me, but
They
they would
wouldn't miss
snap
you.
me for their snap streaks.
Of
Like,
course.
so it's like all these different things, and it's like it was like a couple weeks in, and I was like, I really don't need this. Because I think in the beginning, what kept me like, oh, like, just like, I'll delete it tomorrow.
Yeah.
It was because it was like new. It was like I was talking to these guys that were cute and I could see their faces.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? And then
When something's novel, it can pull you through where you otherwise may not.
but like, so yeah, then when it kind of like wore off, all this like newness and excitement, I was like, this isn't necessary.
No. I have an idea. I wonder if, because you were talking about basically in less words, like there's a vicarious nature to the way she writes, like putting herself in other people's shoes and writing from other characters and stories perspectives, like not voyeurism, but what's another V word we can say? But you're vindicated by
awareness and
but-
connection.
But I wonder how
Empathy.
much of that curiosity would go away if you could just see these people's lives all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wonder if that's like a back end benefit of
or
not.
until
lot
she experiences it herself.
Right.
These love songs of heartbreak and heartache that she writes. My girlfriends are I'm like, wait until she gets her heart broken. I don't wish that upon you.
No.
It's part of life. It's a part
I
of
know.
Wait a
living.
minute. Mom doesn't wish that on you. Manager goes, break her heart. Give me a gold record.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Yeah, I mean,
But
No.
you feel what other people feel so intensely. And
Yeah.
my
Oh
girl-
yeah, you are truly. She is such an.
Empath.
Yeah. Oh,
My girlfriends and I would be in the basement, and literally we would sit on the rug. We have a nice jam space downstairs.
I love it. I love it. And check out do you have a link for Facebook? Have you guys made like a facebook.com/
Yeah, Bella Ann Music.
Bella
you
Ann
can find her
Music.
on Facebook, Bella Ann Music, and Instagram, Bella Ann Music.
It's the same
It's
thing.
almost every day though that your mom's posting like a new snip of a new song you
Yeah.
wrote daily,
Yeah.
and I'm playing them in my.
Yeah, follow her.
I'm
Watch her.
telling you, it's magical. And like from the outside in, I was overwhelmed by judging for a competition this summer.
Talk about how you met her.
Well,
Tell
it was
that
at
story.
this competition that I met Bella because she sang as like a future person on
Central
this.
Idol,
There you
yeah.
go. That she.
There you go.
This future star, right? They're trying to showcase, which is a really, really good idea. And there were like 3 of you guys, and I wish you were the first one I had heard. Not for any logistical reason, just because it was like, I don't know what I mean by that, but there was the talent level of these kids. You guys were all like under 16 at the time.
Yeah. I
Was
like 14.
ridiculous. Like each one of them could have won it. And this is against full adults that have done this forever, or like it's just incredible. And I remember seeing you. I don't remember, you didn't do an original.
No,
You
I
were
did
deliberating
Vienna.
when she did the original.
So yeah, I
you did.
I during halftime of like
When we were
Central Maine Idol,
judging, yeah.
I did Vienna by Billy Joel. It was like a cover,
Yeah.
and I kind of like made it my own. It was like that kind of thing. I like doing covers of like guys that like song.
Yeah, you do.
sing-
You do.
Because it's like when you hear a song sung by a woman, you're like, I have to try to sound like the woman that's singing the song.
And the audience has a bass line.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but then when it's like a guy, it's like, oh, this is a girl, and she spiced it up and made it her own.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like there's more of a contrast between the two songs.
I love it. 15, dude.
And then after the show, I came back on stage and I sang "Envy the Birds," and that was the first time I had sung it live, and it was a little bit rocky.
But they loved it, I'm
but
sure.
it was like
So wait, you sang it, you guys had a backing track at the time?
Because it had already been produced with Dom, and so we asked
So
him
it
to
was
cut
just
the
the
vocals from the
instrumental.
track. It was perfect.
That
And-
is so dope. I
and
love this.
We should make sure we give Dom proper.
Oh, for sure.
shout
Yeah, I know
out.
we named him briefly, but yeah, Dom has been such a huge help for you
Seriously.
in terms of like producing this and getting these demos to life
Mm-hmm.
and showing you like, you can do it.
Do you want to hear the story of how it all started?
yeah,
I do.
It's pretty convenient.
So this was a year ago, last Christmas. So it's been just over a year.
Okay.
Bella, she's been playing these songs in the basement to my girlfriends and I, and we're weeping, and it's like she's ripping our hearts out and
Right.
singing about it. It's like,
I'm sorry.
oh, but it is. It's and
Like she's causing emotional damage,
Jess
but we
and
know it's
Jazz,
good.
They're like, this is what's happening in my life. How is she? So that's what's happening, right? She's writing, right? And so many songs that we just,
Don't know what to do with
but we're
it.
just
like-
living. I
Yeah.
mean, it's a soundtrack of my life. It's in my house, and
Sure.
that's where it lives.
These songs have become like famous to you.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
we love them.
I love when like I just hear like dad or you like humming one of my songs throughout the house like
That's
randomly.
awesome.
It's like, oh, that's my song.
Yeah,
You're like,
and
hey.
her
That's what's
knack
that.
for melody is
That's another thing that I feel like
Unbelievable.
is like, it's kind of like in the, what's that saying? In the pudding? No.
But it's like it's
when
not
it's in
right.
the biz, like it's hard to talk about like theory because a lot of people don't get it unless they're musicians. But like the fact, like you're just knack for it without like learning it. Like it's just again, you don't have this giant repository of
it's
stuff.
not
You're
overthought.
right,
It's felt.
and your
It
melody.
doesn't feel right. It doesn't click. It's not a song that I love until it's something that I can't get out of my head.
Yeah, and there are writers that are like as good as you poetically, like in terms of like the writing of it,
Yeah.
that can't make a good melody to save their life, and vice versa. There are like these top liners, these artists that literally make melody that
It's, like,
can't write.
soulless, yeah.
It's crazy. It's insanity.
So
Oh yeah, so Dom.
last Christmas, she says, it's like, oh, what do you guys want for Christmas? They put their lists together and
For Santa.
for Santa, yes. And she wanted to record one of her songs that was on her Christmas wish list.
Oh, that's adorable.
And I'm like, we live in Central Maine. I don't know how to do that. I
Right.
know in Portland there you could spend $1,000 and like we've
Don't
got
have
3
$1,000.
kids. And,
Yeah.
So Dom Calizzi,
Yes.
right, at the time was my son Michael, and we have to mention Gabe. Gabe is my other son, my sweet boy, big heart. But Michael is playing basketball,
Oh, and Dom was coaching.
Was coaching
Okay,
Michael.
I remember this.
And Dom, he is, spent some time in Nashville, and he just, walking down the streets of Central Maine, he's like, has an outfit on. Like, you don't see men that are like,
with an outfit.
have a fit. Yeah.
Wait,
like
wait.
everyone's just wearing like
Hold
hoodies
on.
and
Both of you.
flannel.
What do you mean?
I'm
mean,
looking at you. You guys are.
No, but like seriously, like you walk around like Winslow, Maine, and it's like everyone has like a big hoodie
He
on. Or
stands
something.
out because he just.
But what's he wearing? Because now I'm picturing
Okay,
a pirate
like, okay,
because
no,
I
no,
have
no,
no
no.
info.
Oh, like a costume.
No,
Yeah,
like light jeans and like a flannel, like that type of thing, and then like actual shoes that like look like dress shoes.
Oh, he
You
looks
know
like
what
a
I mean?
Tumblr kid, kind of. You're saying?
Yeah, he look. Metro's not the word, but like
For
he's-
around here, though,
Like
it probably
style.
is.
Yeah,
If you
he's
drop
styled.
it, yeah.
He's styled.
Okay, gotcha.
So he stands out,
Because
but
I literally did. I pictured like a pirate, and then you kept talking. I'm like,
he's styled.
he's wearing a cop uniform, stolen
Dom-
valor.
Dom-
What's going on?
Dom is coaching Michael's basketball, so we
okay.
sort of like know who Dom is. And I'm going to pick the kids up from school. I'm walking. You have to go stand in line outside to pick the kids up from school. And I'm walking, and there's Dom, and we start walking side by side, and we're talking about Michael and what a great athlete he is. That's just where the conversation went. And then he brings up the fact that he lived in Nashville and he's a musician. And
you're
I'm
like, oh my God.
hang on a second. Like, my daughter, Bella, sings and writes and
And he didn't know this.
had no idea.
That's
It was just
so
Michael
cool.
was
I'd
the
never
only
met him,
connection.
yeah.
And for Christmas, she was wondering. He goes, "Yeah, I've got like in my basement a recording studio set up.
Yeah.
I'd be happy to collaborate."
And that
Sure.
was the rest is history.
And the first time she sat down and sang in his basement, he was like,
Yeah.
"Do you realize what she is?
Yeah.
Like, are you
Yeah.
hello?"
Yeah.
And so then we started going weekly, and she just
Yeah, and it was
started
just like-
building this library of demos, and here we are.
And there's a lot of them, and that's a challenge too. Like, when I'm constantly, you and I are constantly scheming, and it's like it's really hard to give advice when you have the body of work she has. It's a good thing business wise, right? It's what we call a good problem, because a lot of people want the library you have, and you already have it. It's like, but what do you do with it, right? Because
we have all these demos. It's like, what are we going to do with all these things?
And it's a good problem because you have your product. It's like Nike not having shoes.
Right.
You've got a lot of shoes. The problem is like, how do we get them on feet, right? And it's like, for her, you have to decide. And a couple of things we've threw around together is like, do you just let the public know that she's this songstress with this ability to pump out anything at any time? Because that's a strategy that would work. Or do you keep the enigma a little bit and you play, smoke and mirrors, so common in the business, and you keep all that close to the chest and you put out these just bangers back to back, and people are like, where are these coming from all the time? Because you're not playing your whole hand. It's tough. And no one can tell you. And if they tell you, like, I guarantee this is the right way, run.
Yeah.
Because the best businessmen would never do that, even in the music business.
And we've been lucky where it's been so organic. Like, it's never, I don't know, both Mike and I, and it's like just wherever this goes, it could go somewhere, it could not go somewhere.
know
It
what?
could,
Yeah.
but if she's happy and we're continuing to move forward.
Yeah, it's like step after step.
We
like,
seem
Yeah.
to keep stepping forward.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But one moment that like, cause I was talking with one of my friends, and she was like, "What do you think like when you're famous, And she was like, "What do you think you're gonna say?" It's like my I made it moment,
Yeah.
Like you hear artists talk about that, and I was like I thought about it for a second, and it was like there was my school dance in 8th grade. Like
Yeah.
8th grade was just my year. You know what I mean?
What do they call that? It's not prom.
It was just like a
Semi-formal?
semi-formal, and we had produced and mixed Envy the Birds, but it wasn't out anywhere, but I had it, and I was like showing my friends, and that's when like people were like, "Oh my God, like you're gonna be famous one day."
If you tell me
You
you
know?
played that at your dance,
Yes, that's exactly what happened,
bro. Movie.
So literally,
No wonder, dude.
And one of the
She's
teachers
like,
was
imagine,
the DJ.
imagine her perspective. That's straight up movie. The kids running the group hug, playing your own song to huge acclaim at your school dance. Like, you
And
gotta
then
calm down.
I
You're
sing the
hitting so
national
many.
anthem for like all of like the wrestling meets and everything, and
I'm telling you.
it literally, like, I think about it all the time. Like, I have this, like I have a million journals. Like, it's not even funny. And one of them is for, like, specifically, like, things I don't want to forget when I am an old lady, you know?
Yeah.
And it's, like, all these little moments of, like, oh, I heard this song on my way to school, and then something nice happened that day, you know?
But
Like,
your
as, like, a sign.
expectation levels are so healthy because it's like, wouldn't you think the natural inclination would be to always want more and better? Because a human condition is usually the case. Because it'd be pretty hard to shock you, is my point.
Like, honestly, like, I would die happy if I were to, like, die today. You know what I mean? Like,
That's
I don't wanna,
crazy.
I don't want to sound, but I wouldn't.
Plans clear, delete.
Well,
I can't even live
obviously.
happy. You can die happy today.
But you know what I mean? Like, I feel like I have already left a mark. So imagine how much more of a mark I'm going to make in the future.
No
You
one
know
can
what I
be
mean?
this holistic. That's what I mean. Like, do you go home and like beat your brothers or like? There's got to be something. It's too
She
much.
gets sassy with me sometimes.
Yeah, I
Okay.
get sassy.
But
Okay.
then
I ignore
5
everyone and
minutes
read in my
later,
room.
she's like, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, of course
did.
you do. Of course you
And
do.
it's like, it's okay, babe. And
Yeah.
and then we move on.
But anyways, so back to like the dance.
Yeah.
My friends, like, I had been emailing them, like, you know, this like demo, this like rough draft of Envy the Birds, and they were like, you need to play this at school dance.
Oh my God.
So my tech ed teacher, Mr. Doran, he was the DJ for the school dance, and I had like emailed it to him. I was like, hey, like, could you, no, my friend Reese emailed it to him and was like, hey, could you play this at the school dance? So I had no idea this was happening. And I had got to the school dance, and it was like the last one. So I had like a white dress on, and my mama had woven like flowers into an
Okay.
updo.
It's a Disney movie.
Yeah, literally. But I was like
Literally.
this flower girl.
I get it. I'm in a movie. And guess what? Believe it or not, I'm not the main character. I am heartbroken.
No, but it was just like this perfect moment. And then like they're doing these slow dances. So the entire school makes this circle around the gymnasium, and then 2 people are picked and they go in the middle and they dance with each other.
Yeah.
And my song came on, and when I tell
Let me
you,
guess. There's a spotlight that shot down on you, and there was fog, and the guy you had a crush with was floating. He didn't even walk. Is that it?
I wish.
Was I
man.
close?
No, the guy
Oh.
that I had a crush with at the time ran away from the building
Oh,
like earlier
jeez.
that day.
Okay. Yeah, we got to balance you out somewhere. Yeah.
Oh my God. No,
You're like,
but
it's time. He's like, ew. He
It was
runs.
another issue that he was.
but it was like a whole thing. But
You're a good case for. Oh, sorry. Are you not done? I keep jumping in.
no, but the song came on. It was like this. When I tell you that my eardrums popped because the entire gymnasium was like high pitched screaming girls.
Yeah.
Like it was pretty freaking cool.
Well, you're living so much larger than your typical 15-year-old that like it'd be pretty hard to have haters, which is really cool because like you're genuinely doing it, you know? It's not like basically what I'm saying is I feel like another way social media would screw with you is if you got on it and flexed this stuff because then you're
Right.
opening yourself up for like, okay, Bella, we get it, but it's like you're not even looking for that.
Right. The thing is like you go about your business, and honestly, like I expect someone to come up to me and be like, "You think you're so perfect?"
Yeah, right.
You know, but it never happens.
No.
Because if you're genuinely like a good person and you care about other people, like I don't want to sound conceited when I say that, but it's like
Well, it's
then
true. It's,
people
yeah.
see that,
Yeah.
and people don't like. And genuinely, I don't think people are bad. Like I don't think people wish harm on other people because they're happy. I mean, there are like the occasional, but within my community, like it's pretty close
Yeah.
knit. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
yeah, yeah.
And usually that comes from a place of pain. Like I try to say, if we see
Right,
someone
like-
that's having a hard time or lashing out, it's
And
like,
I
I wish you
remember-
healing.
Yeah, like I had one friend, and she just like, she wasn't super like happy for me. You know what I mean? Like if anything, if like my music came up, it would be like, oh, she left the room. Like it'd be that kind of thing.
Yeah, sure.
But it's like,
But that's all her.
but then I like went up to her and I was like, what's going on?
Yeah.
And then she like told me about like, you know, some stuff that was going on with like her home life and her family.
Yeah.
And then it's like, and then it was like this reset of like, I'm sorry, I was being like this way towards you. And then it's like that's smoothed over now.
I've
and we
been
can
that
move on.
girl where like your personal experience is so much darker that like when you see things that are idyllic, it triggers you in a way.
Yeah.
I've literally been that person. I get that. So that's and right, like I said, that's her.
Yeah. And
But
being-
it's really cool of you to like not take it personally and like just inquire.
right.
That's
like
that's
it's-
pretty grown. That's wild. I'm telling you, Mom, if I have a kid that is anywhere near as aware as this one, I would die happy. Can you believe it? I always ask these 3 questions at the end of my show, and I think it's fun. You're going to have great answers for it. You would think I would stack the deck for myself, and I haven't even thought of mine. I kind of want to hear yours. Meg, I'm not kicking you out, but do you mind switching for real quick? I just want to hear your take on this too. I'll start with us while you guys switch. I ask everybody because I really love the propulsion woodwork of media and art. So I always ask someone like, what is a song or artist that you've been really vibing with? What's a movie you think people should see? And what's a book you've read that you really dig lately?
Okay. Wait, can you repeat the first question?
So a song or artist that you've like really been digging lately.
Okay, so Taylor Swift is obvious.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Any specific song you're just like, you've got to go hear this?
I don't know, like I love her Evermore album because it's like such like a fall like, you know, feel and like cozy. And Cowboy Like Me is one of the songs on that, and I really like it because I just envision like these two like outlaw like, you know, like freaks that just like are in love and, you know, are together and like you know, like an outcast together type thing.
I love it.
So she's obviously amazing. And then Olivia Rodrigo, I think I admire her modern like take on music. She just kind of like remade this like whole like it's like I think of her and I think of like a whole separate genre because it's like she is working like within the bounds. Like she is like the teenage years in like, you know, summed up. You know what I mean?
100%.
The teenage vibe even. Like it's just very much
right on it. Those are great picks. Mine is a song I've actually showed you, so it's perfect because the whole time you were talking, I'm trying to think. 17 by Sharon Van Etten. I showed you guys this as a show for like a visceral take on being young and realizing that you had it all wrong and all this. It's wonderfully recorded. She is such just a force to be reckoned with. Check that out. A song or artist that you've been hot on, you think people should hear?
Oh, Charlie Crockett is good.
Ooh. That's not what I expected.
Yeah.
I like.
Yeah. July Jackson's a good.
What's the vibe like?
He's country, but
kind of outlaw or like indie.
Yeah, like indie country kind. I mean, yeah.
I love that too. I love it. Everyone's like, country's cool again. When I was her age, I grew up on it, and I wish I would have just stuck with it. But now it's cool again. Now it's like the number one money making, and all the kids love it. It's crazy. Movie, TV show.
Got you.
Okay.
When Harry Met Sally is my number one comfort
movie. That's awesome. I love this.
Whenever I'm sick or anything, like I love rom-coms. Like, I am obsessed. But
I grew up with all women. I love me a rom-com.
You know, stuff like that. Like, but whenever I'm sick, like my mom will make like her classic chicken noodle soup, and I'll just sit on the couch and I'll watch When Harry Met Sally.
Yes, queen.
And I love that movie, and I love. Oh my God, what's the actress's name? Oh my God.
Meg, yeah.
Yes, she's just so beautiful and amazing.
Okay, I changed my pick halfway through because I love the chick flick. If Kelsey thinks I'm bottled up and needs me to emote, P.S. I love you. I cry like a French grandmother when I watch P.S. I love you. Also, the soundtrack is incredible. Great movie. That's my tribute to you, that answer. Movie or visual medium, Nate, that you've been digging you think people should see that they're sleeping on?
No, I got nothing right now.
Oh, come on. You've been watching some bangers.
Oh, not really.
Drinking a soda at night, watching.
Reacher.
Reacher's cool.
Reacher's good.
I like it. I love how I'd be like, Nate's not what you think he is. I know he looks a certain way, and then all of his answers are the way he looks. A book you think people need to read?
Oh my God. Archer's Voice. I can't remember.
Archer's Voice.
Let me Google it. But it is such a beautiful, like, I love love stories and rom-coms and all things. But it's such a beautifully written, like, love story of, like there's, like, this man, as most love stories have, you know?
Yeah, sure.
And he's mute, so he can't speak. And kind of, like, broken past type vibe. And this, like, girl, she kind of is, like, trying to get away of, like, from this past life that she had. Like, she's just trying to, like, restart, you know what I mean? So she comes into this town and, like, you know, she sees this man who's just, like, you know, kind of like this outcast in this community. And they end up, like, weaving their way into town and, like, you know, like, it's just, it's so beautiful, and I love it. And it's, like...
Archer's Voice?
Archer's
Voice. I'm going to look into this.
It's...
Mia Sheridan, My Sheridan.
I have read, like... 5 of her books.
Really good.
I think I love her as an author. Love stories in general. It's beautiful. Yeah.
This is perfect. I'm going to start I've never thought of this, and it's so obvious. I'm going to start basing all my picks on who's the guest. And for you guys, my book obviously is 10 Things, or is it 10 Things You Need to Know about the music industry? All
my
the things you
gosh.
need to know, everything you need to know. I'm thinking of 10 things I hate about you because I'm still picking movies.
Rom-com.
The 10th version's on. It's on 10th version. I got this
10th
gifted
volume,
to me when I had a deal go sour when I was living in Florida, and I moved home and I was gifted this, and it changed my life business wise with music. So everything you need to know, all you need to know about the music industry by Donald Passman. That's my pick. Book, Nate.
Hunt, Gather, Parent.
Of course.
Yeah.
Don't
Gather,
ever lean into
Parent.
the joke.
Hunt, Gather, Parent.
No, you actually told me that book like literally changed your entire philosophy on parenting.
Yeah.
And you just read it, right?
Yeah. I just
Yeah.
finished it, yeah.
Really?
I remember things.
Yep.
It doesn't seem like it. Last new question I'm going to ask. If you could name my show, because I hate the name, it's the Daniel Taylor Show. I mean, come on. What would you name it?
Oh my gosh, I wasn't expecting. I don't know.
And this
What are-
doesn't
what
this
are
doesn't make the
podca-
rounds and go to him.
Okay, the
'cause-
only thing that I can like think of, like when I think of podcasts, is like the Dropouts like
Okay.
podcast. Like that's just like the only thing
Okay.
that comes to mind. So it's like what do you name a podcast? Like is that
right. The
Like,
name of the channel is You Name It.
like I
because
literally
we
have
couldn't think of
nothing
them.
to like reference it to
Give me Bella's wisdom. It can be something dumb. What would you name this?
on air.
On Air. It's probably taken, but I love On Air.
I
That would be
know,
really
that's all
cool.
I could think
On
of.
Air podcast. I'm going to end this with a piece of advice for you.
Okay.
I don't think I'm going to do this for everybody, but with you, I think it's really cool. Before I was in Nashville, or was this before? I don't remember. It's either before Nashville or Florida. It doesn't matter. I was working with a guy named Earl Cohen. You should look him up. He's like incredible. He's worked with everybody. His big claim to fame is he was one of the producers that got Lady Gaga started.
Wow. Okay.
And I think he's from Jersey and still there. And he made a really good point. I was interviewing him for something, and we were getting on the subject of like how Lady Gaga had this existence. Like you don't remind me of her at all artistically, but your mindset does. And he made a point about like, there is no mistake that Lady Gaga was just crazy enough, just out of the common zeitgeist enough, that she made of herself what she did. A sane person couldn't do what Lady Gaga did. And this whole time I've been sitting here, I've been thinking this about you. This privilege that you speak of, which I think you handle well. I know privilege is kind of heavy because it seems like I'm talking down at you.
I know what you
But
mean.
this bubble you find yourself in is perfect. I think it primes you to be wildly successful because you kind of expect that of the universe. I really believe that. And I'm jaded of all the law of attraction and all, but I really believe that if you stay in that mindset, I see incredible things happening for you. And last but not least, be sure to check out Bella Ann, Facebook Bella Ann Music, Instagram Bella Ann Music. You're going to have some stuff on YouTube if you don't already.
Yeah, we have some stuff.
Got
out
some
there.
plans coming. Already has a single out. There's 2 more in the works coming within 60 days. It's wild. I'm so happy I know you. I'm so proud. I know I haven't known you long enough to say I'm proud, but I am very proud.
Oh my gosh.
I just ran out of air. That's how proud I am. And the only last thing I want to part with is say, keep being the main character in your Disney movie, Bella. I've been Daniel Taylor. You guys have been great. Thank you so much for tuning in. Like we said, like, follow, subscribe, do all the fun things in all the fun places, and we will see y'all next time.